course girls. Then suddenly, I sink back into my seat and I detach myself from the conversation. I watch them have the same conversation we have every Saturday and even laugh at the same jokes. It felt like I was watching the world unfold before myself from a different dimension. Then suddenly, I did this. After a while, my friends were staring at me and they asked me, "Dude, what are you doing?" Now I want everyone to try this. Lift your hands up in front of you. Please. Now look at your hands and look at your fingers. Move your fingers. Realize that you can move your fingers. Isn't that amazing? Doesn't that make you fascinated and curious? Aren't you thinking, how on earth am I doing this? Today, my friends, I'll be talking about philosophy. Now, I'm sure you guys are puzzled as to how staring at your moving fingers is linked in any way to philosophy. But as a matter of fact, the thought process you guys just went through could be considered philosophical. I'll be talking about three aspects of philosophy today. The origins of Greek philosophy, what it takes to be a philosopher, and why everybody can relate to philosophy. However, it's firstly important to understand what philosophy is. The word philosophy was derived from a Greek word called philosophia, which means the love of wisdom. There are many ways to define philosophy, but essentially it is the logical and reflective thinking one undertakes to understand oneself and the world around him. So, when did it all begin? Way back in ancient Greece, the Greeks used to believe in myths. They explained all natural occurrences and events as works of gods. For example, they believed that the god Helios was responsible for the rising and the setting of the sun. Then in 700 BC, two renowned poets named Homer and Hesiod wrote down much of the Greek mythology, and this changed everything. Now that it existed in a written form, people were able to discuss it. The first Greek philosophers criticized Homer and Hesiod's depiction of the gods. They claimed that the gods represented mortals too much, and this was the first instance of people claiming that myths were nothing but a formulation of human ideas. We can thus see where the discussion leads. Early Greek philosophers include Democritus, Socrates, and Epicurus, and there is much to learn from these great men. Socrates insisted on the right to think for yourself, and this eventually led to his death. Epicurus studied the art of living happily, and Democritus was the first man to develop the atomic theory. These men helped forge foundations of math, sciences, politics, social sciences, and so much more, which have brought great improvements to our lives and the world that we live in today. Now, contrary to popular belief, you do not need to be a genius to be a philosopher. You do not need to score a point of 150 in the IQ test to be a philosopher. Now, as I said before, philosophy means the love of wisdom. So what we need to be philosophers is the capacity to be constantly fascinated and curious. We should explore the world as though we are seeing it through the eyes of a baby, full of awe and wonder. Once we have exercised this curiosity and fascination, the constant quest for knowledge only becomes natural. However, that being said, thinking in such a manner is no easy task. Take, for example, the game Peekaboo. You play Peekaboo with a baby for the first time, and the baby is amazed that the face is appearing and reappearing right before his very eyes. Now imagine trying to do that to a grown man. He'll probably think you're crazy. We are constantly moving, we're constantly caught up in our lives that we forget how beautiful and amazing existing is. You have your hobbies, and I have mine. Hengla likes to play volleyball, Gordon likes to play tennis, and Chikwe, who's not here today, enjoys cooking steaks. But philosophy is something that we all can relate with. This is because we all are one, we all are human beings. Human beings can reason, can feel, we can perceive. We all are constantly in the search for the truth. We all believe in our own philosophies. We all have experienced at one point in our lives a moment of deep introspection. We all yearn to understand ourselves and the world around us. Without knowing it, we all are potential philosophers. To summarize my speech, I've talked about the origins of Greek philosophy. And by observing the thought processes of early Greek philosophers, we can see what it takes to be philosophers. And from there, it becomes apparent that we all can become philosophers. I would like to end my speech with a quote from a book called Sophie's World. For the first time in her life, she felt it was not right to live in a world without at least inquiring where the world came from. And that, my friends, and Miss Low, is philosophy.